Hello everyone, this is greyshot17 and today I'm bringing you an impression of the Great War Western Front. I want to do a review and I will do a review hopefully later in the week, but unfortunately today I just did not have time to finish playing the game in its entirety in terms of everything it has, but I do want to give you an overall impression through at least one full campaign run, a couple historical battles, and just going through options and features. Would I recommend this game at the very least based on my initial impressions? Yes. I think for $35, this game is a great deal for anyone who wants to recreate the battles of the Great War. You want to sacrifice thousands of men, go right ahead, and you literally do that. You start off as the Entente or the Central Powers, and your goal is to wear down the enemy. There's an overall turn-based mode that technically you don't have to go into the meat and potatoes of the core combat RTS. However, the randomization of the turn-based elements in terms of how things will auto-resolve make it pretty much a determining factor that, yeah, you want to go into it, because even if you have very low odds or even if it's predicting to be a great loss, you can still hold. It's very tough, I will say. The AI is pretty good at finding your weakness and just sending waves of enemies to try to exploit it, which may cost you either, the entire game, as I lost a mission in the last 2 minutes due to a very persistent AI. That being said, my persistence allowed me to win a game with no time remaining on the clock. I literally captured something as it hit 0, which stopped it from causing me to lose. Now, this game is pretty tough on the normal difficulty. I would say that I still was one-upping. So if you're a more veteran RTS or tactical player, maybe the 4-star difficulty would be more up your alley. But that, I would say, is actually a pretty probably good marker. Again, smart AI, especially on both the RTS and turn-based for exploiting your weakness, moving around troops to find where your weakness is, and then just causing you to completely collapse. Because how you build your trench line, if you set it up incorrectly and they exploit it, the entire line could fall very quickly. And again, I'll give this game a very good level of detail. May not be the prettiest game, but it really does capture the Great War in my opinion. I really like the music. I really like the tone, the effects when explosions kill hundreds of men as they charge your trench. It has some really good stuff. And again, the research mechanics, I think, is a really good idea to slowly build up and get an army that can actually break the opponent while they're trying to also counter yours. Now, the thing is, I will say that the multiplayer is the one thing where I'm like, I wish there maybe was more. So if you're going into this expecting like, well, I'm going to become the greatest player of, the Great War, that's not really what this is. I think a better kind of overview of what the Great War for multiplayer is something similar to like XCOM or Total War, where there isn't really like a ranking system or the best 1v1, but it's more just simply you fighting with friends and just having fun matches. And I could see this versing 151, him building a trench line, just me sacrificing so many men. But again, I like the Air Force mechanics, the artillery mechanics. Overall, I think it's good. Now, here's the thing. I need to play more because I want to play on the higher difficulties, as finish campaign as the Central Powers, finish all the historical battles, which, by the way, you have the one from the demo and as well as 5 additional ones, so 6 total. And again, if I had to give, like, negatives, that's probably one of my negatives. The fact that for a detailed sort of mission, all of the ones in the campaign are similar to like Dune Spice Wars or something like that, where you're kind of dropped into the map and you're just kind of playing on about 10 maps that are on rotation. Now, that being said, each of the maps have a, winter, fall, spring, summer sort of variation to them. So they do have some differences. However, what I will say is you gotta tell you're playing on the similar map. So if that can kind of cause you some ire, there's that. And again, there are 6 more detailed missions that are more difficult. However, like I said, that's only 6. Again, I feel like if you want something that's more historical, then you have those. If you want to have your own battles in the campaign, then you have that. But again, don't expect something like Company of Heroes 3, where you're going to be fighting in missions that are more designed. It's essentially skirmishes. Now, luckily in this case, I think the skirmish missions are actually pretty fun because of the varied objectives and everything else that they try to do to mix things up, whether objectives to get you additional resources or what the army is bringing is going to be different, especially as the years progress and the enemy gets more and more good stuff. Now, do I think that this game, like I said, is perfect? No, but again, I think there's a lot of positives here, and again, I want to dive more into it before I give a full review. So, let me know what you guys think. Hopefully you guys check this game out at the very least. There's no red flags. I've had no bug splats, glitches, or anything along those lines. No performance hits. It's run at a solid frame rate for me. I run at 2K 60 just for recording purposes among everything else. So I recommend it based on that. Again, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe once I dive into it. But upon initial impressions, this is more of a solid game, right? That it is nailing every single one of its features than Co 3, which has more, but has also more blemishes on it, right? So just kind of comparing it to a recently released RTS. Because Company of Heroes 3 is bigger, but I think this is more slimmed down, but also more polished and refined in many ways. Although I will say, some of the movement for units is a little bit off, at least in my playthroughs. Units have a tendency to maybe jump out of a trench and then get gunned down by opposing forces. So just something there. I've also had a couple glitches, specifically with units either moving between trenches or just popping around the map. Again, it's happened a number of times where it's a point where I do want to bring it up, but never game-breaking, never something that ruins the multiplayer match, or not multiplayer, the single-player match that I'm playing, right, in the campaign. So, again, I will hopefully have a more detailed review coming out soon, but this has been Greyshot17, and I'll see you guys next time. Hello everyone, this is Greyshot17, and before y'all go, let me give a special shout out to Patreon supporters Joey G240, Milam, Big Cooch, Aphyria, Ace, Pyro Shark, Tony B 95, Epic Pleb. Thank you all for your incredible support and helping me grow my channel and support my channel and everything I do. Thank you, and to the rest of you, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.